Hello and welcome back to another episode. I am beyond excited about today's guest. This dude is an absolute social media beast, and you will guaranteed learn something, not just about him and his business and the way that he does things, but just about media and social media in general. 1.6 million followers on TikTok, which if you're still contemplating TikTok, he's about to change your mind and honestly just blow it. So really, really excited about today's guest. Let's get right into it.
What a fire intro.
Thanks, man.
My guy.
I just got to watch, learn, do it, and then present it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it looked fire.
I appreciate that. If you're looking at this face and going, I've never seen this guy before. What rock have you been living under? Are you
Lucky you.
Not a chance. Not a chance. For those that do not know you, my man, please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, where you are, what you do, what makes you guys different.
Sure.
Obviously, if you're here on my channel, you're a real estate agent talking to other real estate agents, to my network, to people just in general. So please take a couple minutes and tell us all about Zach.
My guy. Well, first of all, I want to talk about you. Thank you so much. I think we got introduced to each other maybe just about a year ago. It was around that clubhouse spike we had like Q1 and the Q2, and we were like on there at least 60 hours a week. Modding every real estate room in sight. So I just want to say I appreciate you. Thank you for having me on. But my name's Zachary Foust, known as Zachary Loft on real estate platforms, owner of the Loft team and Loft Realty here in Delaware. I'm the sales manager of the office, team leader, handing off the brokerage hat to another brokerage here soon, still under wraps, and handing the broker role off to someone else because that's just not a hat I'm looking forward to wearing. But team, as a team, we did over 50 million last year, gave out $1 million in agent commissions. And then this year we're hoping to do 100 million, go over 3.5 to 4 million in agent commissions. And honestly, we're growing so heavily on places like TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. And now we're even advertising in places like Pinterest and Spotify and even with TikTok ads. So we're really just aiming to hit in places that other real estate agents aren't thinking to hit, and getting really good and in-depth at the thing that other realtors just aren't taking the time to do, such as things like we're knee deep right now in over $17,000 in paid leads, which a lot of people don't know that we pay that much. But then we are also getting still just as many closings from our organic side. So, and the mixture of the paid and the organic and the social trust you build via organic, and it makes the paid cheaper, and it's just a beautiful thing. And at the end of the day, if you need to know anything about me, I'm a marketing guy who just happens to do real estate. I love meeting people. I love connecting, networking, just like this amazing guy right here. But at the end of the day, I love marketing. I'm a nerd. I'm a geek. And I love talking video and all things growing business.
Well, I love that. And as impressive as the business is and what you've created. And this is one thing that you probably get this a lot, but I think we could talk about numbers and the amount of business and the team and everything else about, what you guys aspire to do and everything. And I think all of that's wonderful and incredible. I don't want to diminish that by any stretch of the imagination. Yet at the same time, what I think most people appreciate about you and would probably say behind your back, and I hope now to your face a lot more often, is that to me, you're just a super genuine and authentic guy. Like you agreeing to do something like this for little old me means the world to me, but also I know that you really are, trying to inspire. You are trying to change our industry. You are trying to change marketing in general. And I know that people are spending more time on these than ever before. And so, talk to us a little bit about your TikTok journey, because I think a lot of people thought, the old Gary Vee thing about it's just for kids.
No, it's funny. My dad just this morning, we still talk very often. If you don't know my story, my dad came to work with our team just over a year ago now, a year and a half ago, closed 57 his first year as a realtor, handed off the business pretty much entirely to him and now the team. And I'm out of production. I sit on the marketing side. It's what I really love to do. Now I help lead and I still grow in the real estate world. I go to the listing appointments. I go to showings. I do the trainings. I still love it. I jump in with the ISA team, close some deals. I love it. I can't tell you how much I love the clothes. But as far as TikTok goes, it's funny because my dad just recently this morning was like, I get a TikTok, but I only see all these teenage girls dancing around. Like, man, people were saying that 3 years ago. Come on, people were saying that when I first jumped on. Chill. So, and I told him the average consumer and the average creator are in their 20s. The fastest growing demographic is above the age of 35. Older millennials and even getting into some Gen X. It's nuts.
Yeah.
And people still think this is this young booty shaking app. It's not. There are musical artists on the charts every single day that originated from TikTok. There are creators you're seeing on big screens and TV series every day that originated from Vine and TikTok. Like, it's nuts. This is not a child's app. This is a key into actually accessing everybody on the planet that has this app. Because Facebook, you'll only access your 5,000 friends unless you happen to go viral, and you could make great content on Facebook for 10 years and never go viral. All right. And usually it's going to be some silly meme that doesn't involve your face, your voice, or anything that's going to brand you. So who cares? Exactly. Instagram, it's next to impossible. Reels are making it more possible. Stories started to make it possible when they stole that from Snapchat and then stole Reels from TikTok. Instagram, the ultimate Frankenstein of everyone else's good ideas. Seriously. As they bring on Patreon's membership feature and Twitch's badge feature. And for a time, they had an audio room feature to match Clubhouse.
I know, right? It's crazy.
Good Lord. And now Twitter has that with Twitter Spaces. But the TikTok journey originated back in April of 2019. I joined before the pandemic. The pandemic in March starting was kind of the starting line for most people getting into TikTok. And then that summer was kind of like, oh, we all love TikTok. It wasn't all fine and rainbows when I jumped on. It was, isn't that where a bunch of kids dance at? Like, you lip syncing? Like, what are you doing out there? You got moves we don't know about? I'm like, no, I'm telling stories. I'm talking. I'm educating. I'm edumacating, as Tony Robbins would say, entertaining, motivating, and educating.
That's right.
And I kind of found my niche in just not hiding behind a sound, not hiding behind a caption or a piece of text or just something that's trending, and really just bringing something that no one else on the market can bring. And that's a true unique experience I've put in my life that maybe I don't find much value in or interest in, but they're pieces of my life that they're never going to have access to unless I bring them to them. And I feel that all those pieces of our lives are pieces of art that we can portray in the way that we want. And something as simple as a 1 to 2 minute experience in my life can be portrayed in the way that the world wants to hear, in the form of a story, you know, and little things like just simple tasks of me being deployed to Afghanistan. You know, some people will never leave their state, never left their country to go into one of the most dangerous parts of the planet. So even little tiny experiences, you know, I worked as a prison guard. You know, I didn't even have social media before I was a realtor. You know, I have all these different tiny little things about my life. I was fired twice, demoted twice in the army. I had my weapons stolen. I was arrested by the MPs. I talked about that the other day. Like, I sucked. I was fired from a job for having low motivation and energy toward my position. I wish I kept that document. I would have framed it. I should have. At the time, I didn't want it. I think I threw it out like that night. But now I want it. I'm about to go back to my employer like, hey, screw you, but can I get a copy of that document?
Well, I love all of those points, because you're exactly right. And that's what you get the ability to do with social, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's about your passions, about your past, about your future. I mean, literally, and that's what I love most about your stuff, is that I almost feel like there's no secrets, even though I know that you have your own life and your own family and like stuff that you do behind the scenes that people will never know about.
Yeah. I call it the prescription list.
Exactly.
Anything prescription list and above, don't talk about. But anything below the prescription list, talk about. Basically, I say if you had to rank all your friends and family, like top 100, if you would only tell the top 15 this information, don't tell social media. That you want to share the top 200. I'm your realtor, work with me. No one wants that. Stop. Tell them you caught a big fish at your local fishing trip. You don't tell them your boy caught the touchdown. Like, people love that shit.
That's right. That's right. Well, talk to us a little bit about the journey. Like, because if you're like me, you're always questioning, am I hitting the mark? Right? Am I giving my audience what I said I was going to? Am I messaging and hitting expectations, because
Yeah.
in our business, it's super easy to just talk about real estate, right?
Yeah.
It's what we're doing every single day.
Yeah.
But to your point, and I love the fact that you mentioned the passion, the past, like, to me, all of that, even your personal life, like, people connect to that stuff. And for me, there's one TikTok in particular that sticks out, and I think you shared it on a lot of different platforms. But when you were, having your whole thing done,
Oh
to
man.
me, that is like one of the ultimate.
I didn't even know it was being filmed, quite honest. Or so I knew she was going to get a video of my new teeth. I didn't know she was going to film as I saw my new teeth.
Right.
I thought it was just going to be before, after. When I saw the video after, I'm like, yo, because I'll tell you a true story about that video. I almost deleted it
Hmm.
because I'm not a very self-emotional person. I definitely wear my heart on my sleeve for others. I'll hug you tight for 10 seconds if I haven't seen you in a long time. I'll hold you while your shoulders while I'm talking to you. I'll be so like, I'll cry with you, laugh with you, all that. But for myself, not to say I don't feel for myself, but I'm very private about that. Because I feel what's going on in my head is enlightening people on the path I'm going on. And I kind of feel that I want to talk about the stuff that's already happened, not what I'm working toward at that exact moment all the time. Because
Mhm.
my entire life at this point is a little bit under a microscope,
Mhm.
because I do put so much out there.
Yeah.
So for that, yeah, it was a lesson for me because I almost deleted it, even though it was a true raw moment. And I thought to myself that and this is something I've gotten a lot better at, because guys, we are the worst coaches for ourselves. I hope y'all all know that. Anybody listening, we are our own worst coach.
Yeah.
I have another coach. All right. And his name is the name you see on this screen, or here. There we go. That name, Zachary Loft. See that? That's not my real name. My real name is Zachary Foust. If you've ever read the book, The Alter Ego Effect, that's where my story really began. Self-conscious, not much of a social butterfly, not much confidence, zero business experience, not much of any kind of big goal set, anything like that. Reading that book, learning about that speaker, hearing him speak then a year later, and developing the persona of Zachary Loft actually unlocked that story,
Hmm.
because it gave me that confidence. It gave me the ability. So when I'm thinking yes or no on something business-wise, who I ask? It sounds psychopathic, but I'm like, yo, if I were my own client as a coach right now, what would I tell them?
Mhm.
I'll post that shit. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Well, and the reason that one sticks out to me is because of that moment. Because if I watch 100 of your videos in a row, I see a theme.
Good Lord, I hope you don't.
I
Jesus.
see a trend,
It's a
right?
rough weekend.
But there are going to be people that do that. I mean, you know how the platform works. People will scroll and scroll
Yeah.
and scroll, and they'll binge you, right?
14 videos every minute.
And so for me, when you put that video out, there was something, and someone used this word yesterday with me, that, not describing me, but just said it. And I was like, man, that word really encapsulates who you are. Endearing. Like,
Mm,
there's something
appreciate that.
that's over the top, right? The energy, the enthusiasm that you bring about everything that you do it's contagious, right? But to see you in that moment, and I do want to dig into this just a little bit deeper, because I
Yeah.
think it's really important for us as creators to attach to things like this and really hear how the audience receives it. Because to me, that was a very vulnerable moment. Yet at the same time, I've got to believe that the messages and the shares and the people that resonated, like, we all have our flaws.
Oh, it was overwhelming.
It's crazy, I'm
It,
sure.
it was it was very it was quite honestly overwhelming. I've had viral videos. I've had plenty of viral videos at this point. If you put a million as viral, close to 70 or 80 on TikTok. So I've had the grouping of comments and messages and texts at the same time for that 48-hour span. But that video in particular, I still get hit up about.
Me.
And when I travel, people grab me by the shoulder and be like, Zach, that video. I'm like, wow, really? Like, and seriously, and you're absolutely right. The DMs and the texts. I mean, I would love to say I got back to everyone. I don't think I was able to. I mean, thousands, and it was overwhelming and it was humbling, and it was just, especially in the social media world, I think, because people have the ability to hide behind the fact that, oh, maybe I just wasn't near my phone, and texting's the same. we're not our true authentic self on the digital platforms often because we can ignore the group message text because anybody can answer it, not us. You
Yep.
know, we don't have to respond to the status or like it or comment on it because we can just say we didn't see it. Like, and are we ever going to see this person? Are they going to question me? No, who cares? So oftentimes we find ourselves being sleuthers on social media. So to see one video just unlock humanity, it seemed, for one post where everyone was like, oh my God, and emotional. And it was just really cool to see, like, everyone I truly knew on there and a lot of people I didn't know be really real. And
Yeah.
that's just really cool.
Yeah. Well, I agree, and I appreciate you sharing it. Thank God you didn't delete it because I've got to imagine, got to imagine that that hit a new mark for a lot of people. But as long as we're on the subject of content creation, I mean, you and I could probably talk for literally hours about, creating
Oh, yeah.
media,
The
trying
first
to
8-hour real estate podcast.
exactly right. But to me, what you said a couple moments ago was really important, and I think a lot of people have this mental block, and we all know that the hardest part to beat is right
Right
here
between the ears,
and
easy.
and
Yeah.
getting out in front of ourselves. And so
That's why I'm growing my hair out, so my brain has more juice going to it. That's why I'm wearing the hat, because I'm growing my hair out right now, and I don't know if you can see, it's getting real fluffy over here. So I've always had that fade. Come June, May time, I'm releasing it. We're gonna see what happens.
see what
Yeah,
happens.
we're gonna see what
Well,
happens.
so talk to us a little bit about content creation, like, because again, if you're always calibrating, if you're always adjusting, and not adjusting who Zach is, but adjusting the message and the delivery. Because to me, I consume a lot of content, and a lot of that is for context for my audience.
Yeah.
Like when I look through my most valuable posts or what was shared the most or whatever,
Mhm.
um, I see a common theme, right? Like people like the funny, they want to see a different side of you. They definitely like the edutainment, component that you talked about earlier with the education, the information, the stuff
Yeah.
that makes you stick out as a professional in our world.
Mhm.
But then there's a whole nother realm of possibility that's there. And I think, and for me, this was a huge block for like the last year before I even got on TikTok was, what am I supposed to talk about? What am I supposed to post about? And
Yeah.
it's funny how I felt like I kind of fell into this normal mold. But then once I broke out of that mold, once I started showing that funny, once I started creating a different narrative around real estate and how we educate people and how we deliver information, hit a whole different demographic, a whole
Yeah,
different group of people.
of
And
course.
now they were invested. So now the phone calls sound like,
Yeah, it's
we want you to list our house. We want to buy a house with you. It's not, hey,
yeah.
we're interviewing 3 other agents. It's you're the
That is the piece of the formula that not everyone's gonna grasp. And I mean this when I say some people will simply just never grasp it.
yep,
Even the people who have the best intentions sometimes just won't grasp it fully. Because at the end of the day, and this honestly for me is the easiest way to see someone's true intentions. All right. When every realtor on the planet, and it's funny to me, will say, I'm doing this client first. Like no one else is going to give that as their answer.
Mhm.
But once people start making content, that's to me when the transparency comes out subconsciously. And I
100%.
can truly see why you're even wanting to make content because they can't get away from talking real estate
Mhm.
80, 90, 95% of the time.
Yep.
Use me. They can't get the concept down. And I think that sometimes, and I couldn't put a percentage on it, especially for the older demographic, I feel there's just simply a disconnect. It might not be a purposeful, I'm in this for the money. It may not be, they've never been taught their whole lives how to portray this in this way or market in this fashion.
Yep.
You know, we did not market this way just back in 2012. Nevertheless, 1992.
That's right.
All right. So I think when it comes down to content creation, it really does unlock your intention. And I think why I do come off as authentic and real and just I guess I've gotten easy to talk to is because I'm just being me. And does that come with its flaws? Yeah. Perfection isn't marketable.
Right.
And guess what? I'm not perfect. So great.
What a
And
great
just
place to start, right?
yeah, what an awesome starting line. I already match it. If I was perfect, I'd have a problem.
Mhm.
Perfect is reality show.
Yep.
It's Real Housewives.
That's right.
It's these scripted realities.
Mhm.
And if you look at all these different types of shows, They're failing. They're falling.
Yep.
There's less and less and less of these real-time game shows, Big Brother Survivor-esque shows, which I know both those are still around somehow. But, I named the two that are actually doing well. I get Survivor, though, because that's a cool concept. And I get Big Brother because it's a classic, whatever. Amazing Race is cool. I like that one. I think they're all scripted, though.
Yeah.
I think they all are scripted for John. Regardless, though, you guys remember what an influencer was just like 4 or 5 years ago? Sponsored by some company, and they're like, oh, glaring shot looking out into the distance. Look at this shirt. Everything on my profile has the same blue texture to it. Like, I wear the same sunglasses and everything. Here's my code. But if you're making content to introduce yourself as someone who does sell homes as a profession, but I'm still a human, here's the 80% of my humanity. Here's the 20% of my career, which is how you should view the 80-20 rule, by the way. People hear that, and they're like, 80% personal, 20% real estate. What does that mean? You make 4 posts about what you're eating for breakfast and then 1 post about how you're the best realtor in the area? How does that formula really work? And I've said 80-20 before, really not thinking about it, because I've never made the 20 post. So why am I saying? And then I said 95-5. But even still, I never made the 5 post. Right. What's an all real estate post really look like?
Yeah.
Because even in my all real estate posts, like listing videos, for example, have our personality and our branding throughout them. Our shows have our jokes, our edutainment, all that throughout it. So we're still 80-20 on the personality side.
Yeah.
So content needs to be authentic. And I know that's not something that you can just go, oh, okay, and that changes the game. But it truly is just a reflection of what the intentions and the goals and the why truly is. If you really want to serve people, there's no better way than making content, because it's a scaled version of you giving that information. And just like you were going into, will I lose clients? Sure. Will I have a much higher conversion rate than anybody because I get more come list me calls than anybody? Yeah. Like, seriously, like 93% plus was my listing conversion.
Crazy.
And that's not because I was a good salesperson. In fact, I barely did any sales. I didn't have a close. I didn't bring my listing. I didn't have a listing packet. Matt, I'm not a good realtor. I'm not a good real estate agent.
I get it. Well, and what's crazy about that too, I got to imagine, is that the people that aren't choosing you aren't going, hey, Zach, we saw your TikTok. We're not using you as a result of that.
No. And I know I'm losing people. I'm not stupid. I know they're not hitting me up to say I'm not using you. So I know I'm 100% losing people. I get it. Right. But I'm locking in the 20% that rock with me. Exactly. Why would I try to appeal to 100% and get 10% of them? Maybe 5% market share would be fair, when I could just focus on 20 and say, y'all are my people.
Yep. Exactly.
It makes your job more fun. It makes conversion rates better. It makes gifting more fun. It makes content more fun because you're not worried about pissing anybody off.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I love it. I love it. Well, so just in closing here, I'd love to get like your...
already done? I thought we were going 8 hours.
I know you've got the energy for it. I'm going to have to go get another cup of coffee, though. No, just in closing, I'd love to hear your top 2 or 3 tips, whether it's for TikTok specifically, general social media, like just because, again, we talked about the mental block about people getting out of their own way. Let's say I accept the fact that now I'm imperfect, right? Okay. So I'm at the starting line. I'm imperfect. I get it. I understand it. I'm ready to change my life, my business, my real estate, whatever you're doing with this.
Take 1 week and do nothing else than think, I need to shoot an Instagram story 7 times in a day. Just start there. I love Instagram stories for starting because I feel it's like going to the range in golf.
Yeah.
Because you can just sit there and shoot and shoot and shoot, tiny little increments. Play around with effects, see this new text feature, what's going on with the polls, could I get an Ask Me Anything going, a bunch of different options. Yeah. You can share things. They made it difficult for a second, but now it's easy again. You can share things. You can post a picture in there. You can do a boomerang. You can even just make it a full black screen. I do it all the time. I'll put if you ever see a black screen with text, know that I literally just went like this to the phone and press the camera button. Just FYI. Just as an FYI, if you ever see a black screen, I did not use a black picture. I'm going like this And I just find that funny. I don't know why I find that
So
funny behind
funny.
the scenes.
No, that's so relatable.
100%. All of us. None of us are going to get in a black picture. Like one time I put it up against like a wall. I just went like this. Just took a picture. But for some reason, I'll never do it on the other side because I'm like, these cameras are nicer. So I'm like, let me do the tiny one. I don't know. There's no difference. I don't know. Either way. But there's so many different things you can do. And I would shoot for 7 times a day, 7 to 10, and make it a habit. I on pace do 8 a day. I'll do 240 stories on average per month. And I'll show you my analytics anytime you ask for them to prove that. You know, I'm do what I do, not what I say. You know, you could get by simply following my profile and doing what I'm doing and never listening to a word I say. Quite honestly. And that's because I'm doing the same thing for 9 other people that aren't even in real estate. And I'm taking some of their methods, moving it into our industry, melding and creating these Frankenstein products. 9 of them suck. One's awesome. Keep that one. Okay, cool. These 9 suck. This one's awesome. Now I got 2 awesome things. And before I know it, I have 17 awesome things because no one else saw the 386 that sucked. Because thankfully, in most algorithms, if something sucks, it doesn't get seen by many people.
That's right.
So I'm telling you what, bro, that's the other thing with content is you have to understand you're going to make content that sucks. You're going to, like, I've literally put myself in pain over things that didn't do well on social media. Like I drank the world's hottest hot sauce to talk while trying to talk about how hot the real estate market was. Scorched my mouth to the point where I couldn't talk for the rest of the day. The video sucked. It did terribly. And I hated every moment of it. And I put so much, I drove an hour to pick this sauce up. It was $90. And I'll never touch it again. Wow. No one saw all those failures. And that's just to mention a few. Dressing up in PJs for a listing appointment. We did a whole Christmas thing. I hired actors for something that failed. Like, and you're going to lose in content because not everything's going to go viral. And you need to stop thinking, oh, I need to be viral to be good. No, you don't. So you have to know those platforms. And I say, try to know 2. Just try to know 2. So Facebook and Instagram stories, 7 to 10 a day. Get on there. Document your day. Document your day as a realtor. Do I need to bring up HGTV has been doing this for decades very successfully? That cable TV is dying every day and they're still one of the top 10 channels in the world? They're doing okay. It's true. Because they're the stay-at-home mom, keep this on the TV for the entire day channel. They're the stay-at-home father wants to flip a home channel. They're the at the real estate office, just have something on in the background channel. Mm-hmm. They know their market and they kill it. Kill it.
So true.
And be your local HGTV. Just document your day, how I start my day, how I prep for showings. Here's me looking over the hot sheets. Here's what I'm seeing in the market. It's kind of surprising. Let me let you know about it. You know, here's me. This is my favorite spot in the area for lunch. I stop here all the time. Make sure you talk to Katrisa. You know, hey, walking into my listing appointment. Wish me luck. Things went really well. Hoping we can chat back and head back to the office, finish some things and get back. Chilling with the family now. Great day. Let's get it rocking next time tomorrow. Start the day engagement post. Hey, that listing appointment yesterday. I got it. What do you think it should be priced at? This or this? But like you can just keep going. Mm-hmm. But you just got to be in the mindset of like you're your own documentary crew. Like and imagine just like Joe Rogan says, like this is that moment in the movie, like 2 scenes in where the hero's just been beaten to the ground. You know, the initial scene shows where, you think he's on top of the world and really he's here compared to where the end will end. You know, like I Am Legend, Pursuit of Happiness. Like, okay, he's married. He's got a good job. Things don't look good, but they're not bad. And then like 2 scenes in, you're like, oh, shit, this is bad. Like, this is terrible. He's going to die. Like Castaway. Tom, you know, same thing. Like, oh, he's got a job. He's got his wife. Things seem okay. Okay, he's on a phone now. He's going to die. This is bad. You know, like that's how people do that. Yeah. And you have to imagine you're that 2 scenes in hero. Yep. And you're documenting this journey. You have to make content. It has to be real. You have to document yourself. Because I tell you what, I still get views on the videos I made on TikTok 2.5 years ago. Because people scroll to the bottom. They want to see where it started. Mm-hmm. And you know what people tell me? Wow, you sucked. Wow, you had no clue what you were doing.
That's such a good point, too, because, you know, I'm probably one of the very rare YouTube channels out there that has more videos than I do subscribers. Because if you go back,
Tenacity, I love it.
like just reverse the whole search, right? Go oldest to newest, and you'll see same thing. People tell me, "Oh, that was really bad," and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Yeah,
it's terrible. Like you had no clue what you were doing. Yeah.
6, 7, 8 years ago. Like that's how bad." But you don't see that Matt now. You see
No,
the
you
Matt
don't.
Beasley.
And people are like, yo, like for one realtor really killed me the other day. So I had done a deal with her like 2 years ago, and I was the main listing agent on our newest listing. And it says right in the MLS, hey, contact the co-listing agent, please. But we know they ignore that. And so she called me. She's like, I knew her at her contact say, I'm like, what's going on? She's like, oh, blah blah blah. And then things were good. And then she made this passive aggressive like, yeah, and since your little overnight success, you're just doing different things now, huh? And I
Oh,
was like,
wow. Oof,
oh. And,
oof.
I kept it cordial. I was like, yeah. All right, well, you have a good day now. I'm like, man,
Mm,
that was the most thinly veiled punch
mm,
in the face I've ever felt.
mm.
Like, yo. And to be real honest with you, and anybody that happens to be from Delaware listening, put your earmuffs on. I get no love from Delaware. And frankly, I have no intent of showing love back unless you're on the squad.
Mm.
It's unfortunate, but being young and doing well in this business, and I'm talking to all my other younger realtors out there, prepare to be lonely if
Yep,
you want to be successful in this business.
it's true. It's really
Prepare to be lonely because guess what? Hate comes from your friends when you get here and they're still here and you both started here.
mhm.
They're not mad at you. They're mad at themselves for having the same starting line and not being in the same place.
Oh, so true. Well, man, I really appreciate your time. I
No
know
doubt.
how super busy you are, not just with creating content, but running the business and everything that you
Man,
do.
I got 26 minutes after this. Eat some yogurt, take a shower before I get my day started. 26 minutes gonna be perfect.
Well, I do want to give the people because again, we're talking to other agents, we're talking to my network, we're
Yeah.
talking to people on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, and so
Yeah.
there's going to be someone that this message kind of resonated with, right?
So contact wise, Instagram, Zachary.loft is the easiest place. Zachary Loft is unavailable, taken by some guy named Zachary Lofton. If you're listening, man, let me have it, please. But Zachary.loft and hopefully the check mark soon. That would make things easier. See, I have all this blue in my life. I'm trying to bring that energy into me, the blue energy. I'm gonna start having checks behind me, get a tattoo. Just taking it too far. But Instagram is gonna be the easiest. I'll be real with you. I am dropping a Discord here soon where I am gonna be able to have agents within the ecosystem that can rock with us, mastermind, Q&A, even gonna have a governance set up. And there's even gonna be commerce involved. So Rally.io and I are partnering on, and it is a social cryptocurrency that is going to be linked to my name. It'll be a Loft token. And the Loft token will actually be the currency that revolves within that ecosystem that gets you access to different things like the masterminds, like the one-on-ones, like even traveling in to have one or masterminds with me here in Delaware. That's on the forefront. I'm not dropping too much about it right now, but it's right on the outskirts. We're just working on minor details right now with Rally. And that's going to drop quick. And we're presuming it'll do well. So the early people will definitely get a huge benefit because as more people buy that coin, the cost of the coin goes up. So I feel there's no better way in the world. Dude, check this out. I could charge, say, okay, you need 1,000 coins to join this group. Let's say the coin is a quarter. Coin's a quarter. So what's that? $250. And you're in this mastermind perpetually with some high level people. As the coin grows and more people buy into it, the cost grows. Meaning now it's $1,000 to get in that mastermind. So the one you got in at 250, people have to pay 1,000 to get in now. So now you're getting higher level people. So you're getting more value from that coin. And guess what? You could just go through and sell it. So not only can you take advantage of all of the knowledge in masterminding, you can then get your money back plus profit. I feel there's no better win-win in the world. And I think it's amazing. And it's Web3, and I'm all bought in on that. So again, Zachary Loft on Instagram.
I love it, man. Well, no, I think that's such an important point. And Matt LaMarche out there for some reason is also taken. So I had to add a little
You're talking about yourself in the third person.
I sent that dude like 10 messages. I'm like, bro, can I please have my name back? And there's no other Matt LaMarche's out there.
There's none other.
But anyway, I really, really, really appreciate your time. I'm with you. I'm all bought into the crypto Web 3.0 that you talked about. I'm still learning, but I know you guys have a group as well. So do you want to
Real Crypto on Facebook? It's me and Ray Allen.
Yeah.
If you see a great beard and an okay beard next to each other and it says real crypto in the middle, that's us.
Amazing. I really, again, appreciate your time, my man. Thank you so much
Absolutely,
for
brother.
taking
Thank
it
you for having
today.
me, man.
Hope you have a great weekend. And yeah, if you haven't seen the other videos in the playlist, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, that you tap the bell for all the notifications, because you don't want to miss a single video. If you know someone moving to Delaware, if you know a colleague that's coming from Delaware that's going to sell their house there, what you've had the chance to go through your buyer and your seller consultation right here. We've already knocked it out. Agents out there, if you're looking for a referral partner in Delaware, you know who to call. We really appreciate your time again. Thanks so much, my man.
My guy. Appreciate you, bro.
See you
See ya.
later.